Imagine a life dedicated to service, to running into burning buildings while others run out, to providing aid in the most dire moments of a city's life. Now imagine that life is threatened not by fire or disaster, but by a 17-year-old on a quiet street. That is the grim reality faced by an off-duty DC firefighter who, while heading home, was suddenly confronted by a teenager brandishing a gun. In a moment of sheer courage, the firefighter chose not to comply, but to fight back, grabbing for the weapon. The struggle ended with a gunshot, and our hero was left bleeding on the pavement, a bullet lodged in his chest. But this is not just a story of a single act of violence. This is the story of a city at a crossroads, where the rule of law is being tested. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro has entered the fray, announcing that the teen suspect will be charged as an adult, a move that sends a powerful, unambiguous message. This isn't just about a single attempted robbery. It's about a new, more dangerous face of juvenile crime, and it's a direct challenge to the very notion of leniency. The question now looms, is this a necessary act of legal toughness, or a harbinger of a broader, more punitive approach to justice? The incident, which occurred on September 22nd on Capitol Hill, has sparked a firestorm of debate. Within the last 48 hours, U.S. Attorney Pirro held a widely publicized press conference where she confirmed that the suspect, despite his age, would face the full weight of the adult criminal justice system. Her decision is set against a complex backdrop. While D.C. has seen a troubling rise in juvenile gun crimes, the Trump administration's recent law enforcement surge, dubbed Operation Safe D.C., has led to a 53% overall reduction in violent crime, including a significant drop in homicides and robberies. Pirro, a well-known figure and a vocal ally of President Trump, has made her philosophy clear: no more coddling. She sees this case not as an isolated tragedy, but as a critical moment to confront what she calls a sad commentary on the state of youth crime. For her, this is a litmus test, a battle for the soul of the city, and a necessary stand against a system she believes has become too lenient. This case represents the stark political divide between those who advocate for rehabilitation and those who demand uncompromising accountability.
The details of the incident are as chilling as they are telling. It was a Saturday night when the firefighter, after finishing his shift, was walking home. He was in a residential neighborhood, a place where he should have felt safe. The 17-year-old suspect, with two accomplices, attempted to rob him. As the suspect pulled out a gun, the firefighter, a man trained to react under pressure, made a split-second decision to grab the barrel. The resulting struggle was desperate and violent, culminating in the suspect firing the gun and striking the firefighter in the chest. In the chaos, the suspect also sustained a gunshot wound to his hand, a possible result of the close-quarters fight. Despite his severe injury, the firefighter's instinct for survival kicked in, and with the help of a neighbor, he made it to a hospital where his life was saved. The investigation that followed was a testament to interagency collaboration. The Metropolitan Police Department and the FBI, working together, quickly identified and apprehended the suspect. This aggressive teamwork led to the pivotal press conference where Pirro laid out the charges: armed robbery while possessing a firearm, possession of a firearm during a violent crime, and aggravated assault while armed. This isn't a slap on the wrist. These charges are a statement of intent. And if convicted in D.C. Superior Court, the suspect faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years in prison. His court appearance marked the official start of his adult prosecution. At the press conference, Pirro's words were direct and pointed. "This is not just a blip," she declared. "It's part of a juvenile surge fueled by illegal guns and a perceived lack of accountability." FBI ADIC Darren Cox echoed her sentiment, confirming that agents were on the streets around the clock to crush crime. Dave Hogan from the Firefighters Union provided a crucial human update, confirming that their colleague was recovering at home but would live with the bullet inside him, as doctors deemed its removal too risky. The conversation also touched on a troubling question of a delayed emergency response, an issue Pirro has vowed to take up with Mayor Bowser.
A central pillar of Pirro's argument is her critique of the Youth Rehabilitation Act. She has openly called for a change in this law, which she argues is an enabler of repeat offenses. The YRA, in essence, allows judges to bypass mandatory minimum sentences for offenders under the age of 25, offering them a path to rehabilitation instead of lengthy prison terms. Pirro cited a recent case involving a bus shooting, where a judge gave what she considered to be an excessively soft sentence as proof of the YRA's failure. She contends that in cases as serious as a shooting during a robbery, the full force of the law must be applied without exception. The logic is simple. A gun in the hands of a juvenile has the same deadly potential as a gun in the hands of an adult, and the consequences should be the same. This legal debate is at the heart of the national conversation on criminal justice reform, balancing the promise of rehabilitation for young offenders with the public's fundamental right to safety. This case transcends the individual and the legal system. It speaks to the very fabric of our society. It sends a chilling message to first responders, the very heroes we rely on, that they are not safe even in their own communities. On a social level, the prevalence of juvenile crime is eroding trust in our institutions and tearing apart families. The political dimension is equally complex, highlighting the tension between federal and local authorities and the need for a cohesive strategy to combat violence. The consequences of inaction are dire. More shootings, more victims, and a deeper sense of fear that will disproportionately affect minority communities. As we've seen in the updates from the last 48 hours, the public is no longer content to stand by. There is a growing demand for accountability and a clear signal that the time for leniency has passed. This is not just a DC issue, it is a lesson for the entire nation. A gun in the hands of a juvenile is a poison that can only be stopped by a firm, unwavering hand. Ultimately, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro's actions mark a decisive turn toward a tough-on-crime philosophy. Her message is clear: there will be no more coddling, and there will be full accountability. The question before us, as a society, is what path we will choose. Do we continue to prioritize a rehabilitative approach that may fail to deter future violence, or do we embrace a more punitive model that prioritizes public safety above all else? The future of D.C., and by extension, the safety of our communities across the country may very well depend on the answer. We invite you to join the conversation. What do you believe is the right approach to juvenile crime? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on this and other critical stories, because in the end, justice will prevail.